Hi guys, this is my Zen room. Some of my drawings that I painted up here. And then that I got from a friend of mine. And my Zen baby's over here. My room's a little bit of a mess. I did clean it up and purge some things, but I wanted to touch base on Ascension. I had no idea, like I said in my other videos, what any of this was. Pre-2015, almost 2016, so somewhere in 2015. I've got some of these dates written down in my journal. But nonetheless, I'd like to touch on what Ascension is, and I'm going to read from this because it's like putting this into words. There really is no words to describe it, and it's very, very, very individual. So take what you want from this video, and discard the rest. But for me, I do know for my knowing that this was pre-planned for me in this lifetime. So, what is the meaning of Ascension? Ascension, by definition, is the path of those who are choosing to consciously step into a higher level of light. It is personal choice to boldly step into the unknown in order to expand into an experience that is entirely new. Ascension is actively choosing to evolve into a higher consciousness. Ascension is merging with your higher self, opening your heart, expanding to reunite with Source, Christ light, and all levels and layers of your authentic self. It is returning to the experience of divine light and experience the highest level of unconditional love and divine alignment and pure source light in every area of your life. Ascension is not something that happens to us on a certain date, or that we're unknowingly or unwillingly stumble onto it. And I'll explain a bit of that before I go any further, that in this lifetime, I think in all lifetimes we've been ascending, because this is leading up to the next thing I want to talk about. So I just know that when I look back at my lifetime, and I can see it clearly now, that I've been ascending all along. Rather, through expanded awareness and by integrating the higher vibrational consciousness of our spiritual selves. And I even knew as a kid, and I said this in my other video, that I knew something greater. What I didn't know, that it was myself. Because we were taught to look outside of ourselves as a form of separation. Ascension is a process of aligning with the higher consciousness and with the divine. And it doesn't happen instantly or automatically, but rather ascension happens incrementally as we increase our present moment illumination one step at a time. Ascension is not the only spiritual, physical, or mental. It's not only spiritual, physical, or mental. The ascension process has an impact on your entire being and how you perceive, relate to, and interact with the world around you. Ascension is a total transformation. To ascend is to realign with the divine love and with awareness at an expanded level of consciousness. Then I'd like to talk about spirituality and awakening and ascension. Is there a difference? Spirituality is tuning into the spiritual side of life through practice, meditation, tuning into a deeper meaning, and bringing presence of spirit or connecting with spirit in your life. It doesn't matter where you're connecting with angels or your loved ones in heaven, your higher selves, or God, meaning to me, Source. God is not what is depicted in the Bible. Ascension and spirituality go above and beyond that, and it's all encompassing. Okay, so for me, like, I've never been connected with any religion. I always felt like it was even bigger than that. And I connected bits and pieces of things, like I knew like the 10 Commandments. I mean, come on. How easy is it to do the 10 Commandments? Well, it's not easy for everyone because there are karmic things to deal with. It can get complicated. But in reality, it's actually very simple. Once you get yourself expanded, you start to see that bigger picture. And again, I don't see it all, and I don't know it all. All I know is what I know for me at this given moment, up to this given moment. When you experience, feel, sense, communicate beyond the physical, you're tuning into the spiritual. This is when we're getting into quantum. Awakening and ascension. Awakening is when you actually wake up to the truth that you are one with Source, God Light. You understand that there's so much more going on than just the physical realm. You are waking up to the knowledge of greater divine plan that is unfolding throughout all of reality. It also means waking up to the experience of your higher vibrational truth, the perspective of your greater self, and understanding that you are a spark of the divine. You understand that there is so much more going on than just the physical realm and the spiritual realm. You are waking up to the knowledge of greater divine plan that is unfolding throughout all of reality. It also means waking up to the experience, your higher vibrational truth, the perspective of your greater self, and understanding that you are a spark of the divine. I said that twice. It's kind of weird. Must have needed to be said twice. Awakening and spirituality are both part of the ascension. So these are pieces of the whole, thing. As you learn to take control of your awareness and attention, you are able to wake up to the authentic nature of your spirit and to empower yourself to consciously align with the higher consciousness, wisdom, and divine in every moment. The game of life is triggering more and more to wake up from the persistent illusion and to remember the truth of our multidimensional selves by linking with higher consciousness. In addition to the awareness, integration is an essential part of the ascension. To continue moving further into higher vibrational frequency without being pulled back into the lower energies tied to fear, and integrating lower vibrational aspects of self is essential. You are Source incarnate and a Source God. That one is what people get wrapped up into because of the old things that we were taught. I am unlearning absolutely everything that I have learned in this lifetime. I've had things come forth to me from previous lifetimes that I was unaware that I participated in such horrid things. I don't believe that each lifetime was horrible. I believe that I did good things as well as not good things. But that was the soul level of things that I've been trying to learn in this ascension all along. And meaning I have carried, now this human is energetically carrying everything from past lives and ascending, because I've stated in the previous video that this is the last leg of this soul's journey in incarnating or reincarnating, into another vessel. So, the universe is experiencing reality through your eyes and mine. It's awakening to the fact that they're not separate. And I just had an awareness this morning, and I will share that in another video. You are another me. You are my mirror. You are another myself. Lakek is Mayhem word for literally means you are another myself. We are one. We are both Source Light, viewing reality through our life experiences. Tuning into this level of awareness is awakening. This is not to say that you are God. You are a spark of God. You are a divine human. And the ascension is returning to this new template in this lifetime. I want to reiterate that. To your true divine nature. Ascension, by definition, is elevating your vibration through spiritual practice, meditation, receiving codes of awakening, light, and DNA activations. Ascension allows you to access spiritual energetic upgrades to rise above the experience of duality, transcend negativity, and live in the awakening of the divine being in physical form. Everything I read, I allow Spirit to come through me and tell me what it wants me to know of what I'm reading. So when we depict the word God, we are so trained to think God is a thing or a person. It is a state of being. It is love. Love is a state of being. This is all on the other side of the scale. we've all learned everything from 0 point down being our negative aspects, and now we're moving to our greater aspects. Okay, Ascension is moving from the lower frequency to the higher frequency, and we're all going through it. Every animal, I'm seeing my dogs go through it. I can see that the birds, I mean, I'm paying more attention to actually so many different little details that we're all affected, like my connection with my crystals. When I had to go through some lower vibrational energy things to release them, my crystal skull turned off until I got back out of that and released some really heavy density, and now it's like reactivated again. And so that's just kind of one little thing. But we're all going through it, every single thing. Gaia's doing the same thing. She's ascending as well, this whole Earth and our galaxy as well, because, you know, if we're all energy and we're all connected, it's all being affected, and it is for the greater good. It feels bad because we're so used to thinking down here that when you get up here, you don't really think, you just know, and you know it's good. Because we're going from this end of the spectrum to this end of the spectrum, and yes, as you're shedding this shit, it's going to be bad. It's going to feel bad. It's going to look bad. It's going to, you know, it's just, it's not easy. And there's so many people I learned from. Angela Mia White's amazing. Lisa Transcendence Brown is amazing. But I feel like Spirit's calling me to use my voice, because I was called into Ascension as well by a spiritual awakening, which happened way back when. I just became more aware and more aware as time went on, which is raising my consciousness. So again, I don't know it all. I don't pretend to know it all, but I am on this journey with a lot of you, and what goes with the Ascension are symptoms. I've gone through a lot of those, and I'll talk about those in another video. I don't want to read all of this, but there was one part, it talked about how to ascend. Just be open. There was one part I wanted to read. The spirituality, I think, is tuning into the spiritual side of life, knowing that there is something greater than yourself. First of all, we were innately born with that. A majority of us, I cannot speak for anybody else, but I do know a majority of us have always felt that there is something greater than just the little human that we feel that we are. And we are not little. In fact, I will be sharing some charts and things. I feel like the divine is downloaded. Well, actually, I have personally chose to download in this lifetime everything that I've needed to get me up to where I'm at. That's how I've gotten light language. I don't speak it. I don't interpret it. I can't say I won't in the future. But right now, I've had a lot come in, and I've had a lot come through me, and now it's time for me to use my throat chakra, basically, and share with you what's been going on with me. And I will be getting my notes out, and I'll be sharing bits and pieces. I will also sometimes just come on here as a quick live, not a live, but a video, just to share like anything that Spirit wants me to share. Because a lot of times that's helping me tune into the higher aspects of me, and I've actually integrated quite a few, and I'm going to make a list of those into my being. And how do I know this? Well, I meditate. That was something I've never been able to do, is shut my brain off. And a monkey mind, I guess is what they're calling it, that won't shut up with all the lower vibrational things that it likes to tell me, which is in the subconscious mind. I somehow intuitively knew that as well. I could never shut it off. I get here and I lay down and I practice like this meditation music that's on currently would be the one where they talk in the background, guided meditation. And I did start that 2 or 3 different times, and all of a sudden I went into meditation mode. Like, it's not sleep, but it's not fully awake. It's somewhere in between. And that's when I started really experiencing some metaphysical things, along with seeing things out of the corner of my eye. And I'm starting to get crystals showing up in my skin now. I sort of can see aura. I just don't have like empty walls. I have off-white walls, but I don't have empty walls where I can really practice. I suppose I could use a piece of paper, but I have done it before where I have seen my aura and I've seen it change. My eyes are changing. My whole body's changing. So yeah, I don't know. I'm wondering if there's anything else. Is there anything else? No, I think that was it, because I just wanted to touch on ascension, spirituality, and awakening, and that they have different meanings to them. And it's kind of nice for me to know that. And it's definitely individual. And I actually am realizing that since I've been empath most of my life, and I really don't like labels, because we have so many different aspects. And from this end of the spectrum to this end of the spectrum, but being one that I could feel so much around me, feel other people's feelings and things like that, and beings that I do that, I actually feel for the collective. I'm still yet to know 100% what Spirit wants, other than me to raise my consciousness and hold space and share and that sort of thing. I'm not sure what my job is yet, and I feel like it's coming, but I needed to get out and I needed to share, and that's what I'm doing. So, as it's not perfect, I'm imperfectly perfect and beautiful just as I am, and I am that I am, and so it is. Peace.